Welcome to the show, everybody. We're here with the one and only
Yo, GaVriel.
GaVriel Ventura is in the house. And we're also with
Alberto Figueroa, baby.
Alberto Figueroa. In the controls, we have Brian Rivera. And you are watching SRTV, and this is the first show, the first podcast, whatever you want to call these nowadays, that we're doing. So we're super excited to be here. This is a new journey for us. This is our first show together.
Breaking the ice.
We've known each other for a few years. Alberto, I've known for quite a few years, and GaVriel as well. The man behind the cameras, I've known my entire life. That's my brother. But we're starting something amazing, something new. We really wanted to do this for, I think we've been talking about it for how long, bro?
Has it been? It's been a couple months, almost a year. Yeah, it's been a couple months.
And then me and my brother-in-law. So Berto's my brother-in-law.
Yeah, I'm like the outcast here.
Nah,
I'm just kidding.
we're like blood, bro.
Yeah.
We're brothers. We've been talking about doing something like this for even longer.
Yeah.
So, how are you feeling, bro?
Feeling good. You know, finally put this equipment to use, you know.
This equipment sitting in a
not going to put any names out there, but, you know, somebody hired me to do like a podcast thing, so I went and invested in all this equipment, and the last minute, he was like, nah, I don't want to do it like that. I just want to do like interview style. In my head, I'm like, so what the heck did I buy this stuff for?
For this, bro.
Well, there we go.
It was a God thing.
Look at that. Perfect timing.
It was
perfect timing.
There you go.
It was a God thing. So,
Hallelujah.
For sure. It wasn't in our plans, but it was in God's plans.
That's right.
Amén, siervo. Amén, yo lo recibo.
A little bit about us. We'll just go like a little bit about us so people get to know us. It's the first time we're sitting together. Maybe a lot of people just like, who are these guys? But GaVriel, you go first. Just share a little bit about you. What you do.
Yo, for real, thank you. No, I'm honored to be here. This is a cool thing. I'm really loving this. I think it's something that we need nowadays, just to kind of kill the elephants inside the room, right? But I'm GaVriel, you know, like Steven was saying. And nothing, what can I tell you about myself? I'm a musician, I'm a gospel artist. I got more kids than I can probably count. And married, just in case anyone's asking, no, I'm kidding. And yeah, I'm here and I'm blessed. There you go.
Shout out to GaVriel. You got to go follow him on all socials. You got to listen to his music.
Yo.
They call him the Christian Weekend. I don't know what that means.
I don't know who started that. I think it's just you.
I'm pretty sure that sums up to like Thursday and the weekday somewhere.
Yeah. But GaVriel makes amazing music. Honestly, like one of my favorite artists right now.
Unique voice too.
Yeah. And worshiper. This guy just does it all. Preacher. He's just everywhere.
That's good, man.
And he has that smoldering face on lock.
Yeah.
We will not talk about that in this podcast.
That's for another episode. Another episode by itself. And then we have Berto. I call you Berto because he's my brother-in-law.
He's also Chad.
His name is Alberto Figueroa. Share a little bit about you, bro.
I'm a man of many names. So my name is Alberto. My mom calls me Weesing. I had it before the artist. Real quick story. She only calls me Weesing because she didn't understand. She doesn't really understand and speak English. So when I was a baby, I had really bad asthma. And when you have asthma, you wheeze. And then she'd be like, I do.
You didn't know this story? Wait, you didn't know this?
You didn't know this story? I thought I told you. Yeah. So I was wheezing a lot, and she didn't know like that was like an English word for that. So she's like, me wheezing de mi alma. So since a baby, I've had that nickname.
Man.
And then my sister calls me Tito, and then Steven calls me Berto. So I have many names, many names. But no, I'm happy to be here. This is cool. Me and Steven happen to have the same hobby, and then from the hobby, we kind of turn it into a business, and it's been great. We've had a lot of adventures, and I don't regret none of it.
Also, just want to point out that Berto is a veteran. So he served many years in the military. So shout out to all of our veterans out there. Yeah, all the veterans. We really appreciate what you do and what you've done. And this country, although maybe not a lot of people nowadays like to point it out, but we like to point it out here that we salute to all of our veterans. We salute you and thank you for serving. So Berto runs Cinematics Films, the venture. I run Cinematics Music, which this guy happens to be a part of right here. So we're
I guess we're making it official on the pod. We're making it official.
Oh, we got to make it official. We got to sort of announce it that Berto is now taking over Cinematics Films as a whole. You didn't know this?
No, I didn't know this.
Breaking news. Put that on the thing.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Somebody I like. I was like, that's a lot of pressure right there.
But we have a film company. We have I said that. We have a film company. If you guys didn't know, we all speak Spanish, so we might say some words incorrectly.
A little bilingual.
So it's just español.
It's because of that.
Poquito.
We do have a Spanish channel, which will be SRTV Español, which will have other people on, and this one right here. But yeah, so I'm Puerto Rican, Berto's Puerto Rican, and then GaVriel is a hybrid, but I like to say he's more Puerto Rican.
Man, I'm Dominican. Okay? let me clear this up. Okay, when you surround yourself by Puerto Rican people, these Puerto Ricans are they're like a plague. Okay.
Hey,
it doesn't matter how Dominican
There's three Puerto Ricans in the room right now.
Puerto Ricans are sticking out, but for real, I love my Puerto Rican people. So yeah, I am a hybrid, but I am Dominican.
Shout out your city in Dominican Republic, where you're from, so everybody knows.
I'm from Montecristi.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
All my people, comment below, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you do that. Yeah. I sound one of those YouTubers, but you got to do it. We're doing this.
Trying to do something right.
A little bit about me. Yeah, I'm Berto's, like he said, brother-in-law. I'm from Puerto Rico, born and raised. So is my brother. My dad's a pastor. My mom, she's the pastora at our church. And just kind of grew a passion since I was kind of younger to do videos, and we kind of developed that. And then here today, this is our first day in studio. We're calling this just Cinematic Studios because the name fits.
Undisclosed location.
Nobody will ever know where this is at.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll keep that a secret.
We don't keep those files in our personal houses. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Aside from that, really excited to start this podcast. What this will be, I guess we should let people know what this will be. This won't be like just any regular podcasts this will be kind of more like a show. We might have guests coming here with us three in the future. We will do some things, but kind of just want to talk about current things and kind of break them down with our point of view. I think the new media form nowadays is not radio, it's not TV, is YouTube. Yeah. It's online presence, not just YouTube. There's other channels out there.
Independent media is where it's at.
Yeah,
that's what it's going. Like 5 to 10 years from now, I don't even think CNN, Fox, none of that cable stuff is gonna.
When was the last time you watched the news?
No, like the actual sit down and watch the news. I can't even recall.
At the lobby somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, you ask anybody under the age of 15 if they sit down and watch normal media that has been. When I say normal media, maybe I should change that. Like actual news, like, or listen to radio, and I think I'm guessing the percentage is going to be like under 5%.
Absolutely, and you just made me feel super old by saying that.
Yeah, well, we're not that old.
If you feel old, imagine me.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I didn't put my hat backwards. I feel like I'm not.
Yeah,
you're not part of the crew.
There we go.
But yeah, aside from that, so that's what this is going to be for us, and we're really excited to bring all of you guys in the journey. So. Something that's been kind of coming up in the news here recently was, and it was, I think, before the end of the year that your boy, this guy's boy, Daddy Yankee,
DY,
announced
baby,
that he was renouncing, basically all of the old world, and that he was going to turn to
Christ,
to Jesus Christ, bro. Do you remember where you were when you heard the news?
No, it kind of just snuck up on me, to be honest with you. I just started seeing him all over my feed. And then I was like, wow, lo que pasó, pasó. All right, cool. I was like,
cool. What about you, bro? You remember where you were?
I have no idea where I was. I was probably with you. Because we saw it like on some kind of social media platform. I don't remember, but I remember it was like the end of his concert, because he's doing that end of the year concert when he had that album that came out. Yeah. And at the end of the concert, the last night, he straight up told everybody, "Hey, I'm leaving my old life behind, and I'm starting a new walk with Christ," which is amazing, right? Especially like when I was younger, I was a super fan. I didn't care.
You look like it.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Stop, you're making me blush. I was a super fan, though. Obviously, all of us here grew up in Christian homes, and our parents didn't want us to listen to that music. So, obviously, some of us would do it behind closed doors.
Yeah. No, now you brought that up. The reason why I say it, because as a child, and not a lot of people know this story, I'm a new man now, but when I was in elementary school, I was living in Puerto Rico, and for a talent show, behind my parents' back, I sung one of his songs, and I had a full crew of my teammates, or I could call them my classmates, who danced. I had a bat in my hand, and I sang Rompe en Gasolina.
Oh, wow.
And guess who won the talent show?
You did.
This guy won. I won the talent show.
I pictured you as more of a Héctor el Father kind of guy.
Well, if you ask my mom, Marco Sweet was my favorite artist. But
Michael Sweet.
That's a hybrid.
Yeah.
Wow.
But if you ask me in school, Daddy Yankee, man, I was a super fan, bro. I wanted to, I wanted to listen.
I'm
to
gonna be
his
honest with you. It's probably
24/7.
gonna take me like 2 weeks to get that out of my head. There's like a whole image I got going on. Like,
well, my mom found out because our front neighbor,
oh man,
his daughter went to school, and she was one of my classmates who danced behind me, and I didn't tell my mom I did this.
What kind of dancing was it?
It was just, bro, we were like
Innocent
fourth grade.
dancing?
Yeah, it was fourth grade, bro.
Fourth. Never mind.
Wait a minute. Hold up. That the fourth graders nowadays do the worm.
Oh no. Yeah.
No, nowadays is a completely different thing. But
My
in Puerto
daughter's
Rico,
in fourth grade.
Yeah, in Puerto Rico at the time, the neighbor came to my mom and said, "Hey, congratulations to your son for winning the talent show." She goes, "What?" You go, "Yeah, your son. He won the talent show at school, and he won the show, and my daughter happened to be with him." And she goes, "The talent show?" He didn't tell me nothing. And he showed her the video, and she saw me on stage, bro. My mom came up to me and she asked me.
Oh man.
And I had to, it was a video. I couldn't lie to her. And I told her, she wasn't mad. She just kind of said, "Hey, like, next time, remember, like, you're a pastor's son, or, you got to represent the faith."
Mommy, T.Y.
T.Y., baby, T.Y. But he's Christian, all right? So it's okay to listen to his old music.
Yeah, I guess.
Hey, Mom, I guess it is okay for me to
you can hang
sing
on to
like
that
that.
if you'd like.
But the reason I say that is I remember I was at I think at the time, I think we were together. It was like at the house. I saw the news and I got really excited because, I think it's a new chapter, new beginning for a lot of people who follow his faith, or who follow him, who are now maybe in the faith. This guy, we're talking about millions of followers. Like, I don't know how many people have heard Despacito in the world.
I'm pretty sure that's
everybody in the world.
Yeah, even if you don't know English, especially if you don't know English.
Yeah, they've heard that song.
Gasolina are like the two. Like, you don't know how many people have come up to me and be like, "Hey, papi, gasolina." I'd be like, "No, that's not what I do, man. I'm not even Puerto Rican,
But just the the idea that there could be people out there that just because of this news, like thousands of people are now probably going to church.
I think that there's always a pro and con to everything because he was such a big figure in the reggaeton industry, right, in the music industry. I think it's a good thing because he obviously he was the man. Let's just be honest, he was the GOAT.
Yeah.
And people that were too scared to kind of declare to their faith saw him do it. So then maybe that might open some doors for them to actually have that step of faith and actually do it. The hard part is, are you willing to leave your old life behind, like the rich and fame, to follow Christ?
I think what gets to me is the waiting period. Like, there's a waiting period, and not to turn this into a whole spiritual conversation, but it's like anything, right? You start going to the gym, you start working out. In the beginning, you're super pumped up. You take your protein powder, whatever you want to take, and you feel, you super. But like a month into it or 2 months into it, are you gonna have that same feeling? And I think like we saw the same thing happen with Almighty, right? And then we kind of saw where people were following him too, and kind of going after what he was doing. And so, how many people are actually still following him since they were from the beginning? Compared to now, I think it's all.
I think I might disagree with you a little bit on that and agree in some parts. I think when you look at I think it's a case by case kind of thing.
True, very true.
Because I know people that have fallen into God, and in a matter of a month, they're doing amazing and great things, and they have been for many years. I think it's a case by case thing, and the reason I say that is also this man's like whole family has been praying and talking to him about it. I mean, even in an interview a long time ago, he mentioned that the thing that he fears most is dying without having given his life to Jesus Christ. Right. So I think throughout this man's life, he's been sort of, I think, hearing that call, and he was kind of just turning away from it. You know, I think it's hard, you know, when you're in that spot.
I think it also, when you have a family who's Christian and always praying for you, and you know of God, right? Yeah. And you know what God is capable of, and you know that He wants you to follow His path, which He knew his whole life. You know, there's a reason why we go through different paths, right? Like he was able to go to see everything, have the good life, and he said it recently. He's like, but I still had that after I finished the show, had a great time, and everything went well. I still had an emptiness in me, and it's Christ, which is good. Now I see why people are criticizing him, because this is just my opinion. I do think he's moving too fast, because I feel like he just started this path,
and that's kind of where like I was getting at, and sorry to interrupt you, but like you know, I you want to see the finished work, right? And it's almost like those things where like I know you're gonna transform him, I know he's doing all these great things, but I want to see the finished work, and I think he can do it. I think he'll get there. I think it'll take some time, but it'll definitely be an influence to this generation, you know,
for sure,
to be someone of, because we're not talking about, you know, someone who didn't have status or fame. Like,
we're talking about
the top, right? So
he was the GOAT.
Yeah,
he was the GOAT.
He was the GOAT.
Definitely.
I mean, to a lot of people, they have a different GOAT. That could be another conversation, but I think in the majority, to be that many years, we're talking since what, 92, 93, somebody can correct me. Yeah. You start basically a whole genre, not by yourself, because there were others doing it, but you lift up a genre. You know, you got to give it to the man for doing it for how many years?
And never having a scandal or anything
that's
throughout
the thing
his
too.
whole career.
Not a major scandal,
He had good image.
Or crazy, but like just keeping his head on the swivel. I think that's super dope.
I think that goes back to who his family is. Because
I think what's worse is the image that I have of Steven in the talent show. That's gonna take me a while to get off my head.
Hey man, I'm a new man now. That was a long time ago. I was in the 4th grade, bro. But I think it's amazing to have somebody like that on our camp, though.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
And to be sharing values about, you know, family and especially today, bro. A voice like that, we cannot turn away. Like,
absolutely
we need voices like that, no matter what. However he does it, that's between him and God. Yeah. I'm just glad that he's part of our side, because, you know, I know Farruko and some other ones that are taking steps, and I think through him, his influence that he has on all of these guys that are coming up right now.
Which is a lot of guys.
Bro, like those conversations behind doors.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the elephant in the room, though?
What's the elephant in the room?
How do the other guys feel that are like, they're like, oh, no, God's like, whatever, you know? And then they're seeing, like, the guy from the top to the bottom. Like, it's just like a big domino effect. Yeah. Everybody's just, like, converting to Christ. Like, I wonder how they feel like.
Yeah, just imagine the conversations behind closed doors that he's having, because I know from how he's projecting himself on social, I know that behind closed door he's not keeping his mouth shut with them and sharing, like.
No, and it's kind of like, I remember back then, I had a good friend of mine, right, and I brought him. He wasn't Christian, you know. This guy has a sailor mouth, terrible, but I took him to a youth retreat. And the guy who brought the word impacted him, and he accepted Christ that day. And that same day, he was just going around any young person he would see on that campground, because it wasn't a Christian campground; it was a campground for everybody. But he would see young people, and he just starts telling them about God and how He changed me in less than like 20 minutes after converting. And it's like that first love.
Yeah.
So right now, I feel like, I mean, I don't know what he's done before all this, but through social media, through what we see, you can see that right now he's in his first love. He's in his honeymoon phase where everything is peaches and cream.
Absolutely.
And he's loving it. That's why I think it's great that he's doing it, but I think he's doing it too fast. You know, I think he should take his time before being presented the way he is right now, because he's in my opinion, he's still in his honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
So he hasn't really been tested yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like everybody has to go through it. Yeah. I hope that one day we could just all look back and look at this first podcast and be like, you know what? He was in his honeymoon phase, and now he's in his big people phase, and he's still doing it.
And he's still doing it.
Still doing it.
Which I think he will.
Yeah.
I think because throughout his whole career, he's always had a pretty. He's always had a pretty good image.
Oh yeah.
And he's had the right, and he's also very mature, and he's always had the right people around him.
Yeah.
Obviously we're gonna have like one or two bad apples in there, but I think it's his older brother that's like a minister or something like that.
Yeah, a pastor.
I think they both are.
And his younger brother.
His younger brother.
I think he sings.
Yeah.
He does like
So I think having those people around
Christian sings. Sorry, he sings
Christian
for
artist.
God. Yeah.
I think he's gonna be all right.
And that magical lotion he uses to keep him looking like he's 20.
He needs to start selling it.
Whatever it is, we need that at Walmart or Target. Yo, real quick, shout out to. We gotta pull this out.
Oh, you pulled it out! Oh.
Everybody, look right here.
Yo!
Show all the cameras right here. Tell us a little more about this, GaVriel. What's this?
Here? Monte Moria, Mount Moriah. It's an event for the youth.
Sorry, I'm gonna open this.
So that you can hear all the crunching, all the.
Try to open this quickly.
I'm like a kid. When I hear crunching, I think it's food, so I turn. I love food. No, but this move right here.
Is this for me, bro?
Yeah, that's yours,
thank you, bro.
Yeah, I gotta
plug the merch. Plug the merch.
Yeah. I gotta get one for Alberto because he already kind of kicked me under the table. But
this is nice, bro.
This is a youth movement. This is an event that's happening on the 27th of April, 2024. But
Tell the people.
I don't know, Steven. I was just like, I think this is something it's just gonna be all over, not just in Florida. Next year, I want to do something different. Out of the state. Just
we gotta take it everywhere.
Just bring these youth out everywhere. For this year. Have them all together in one place, different worshipers, preachers. Steven is actually preaching.
Oh, snap.
I'll be there.
Whoa, Steven preaches?
Pastor Steven. Whoa.
Steven's a pastor? Whoa. You didn't say that in your intro.
Hey, bro.
I heard him preach once.
I hear him preach a lot, so.
And I know the glorious gods, but man, he brought the house down. But yeah, so listen, thank you for bringing that shirt out, man.
Yeah, bro. No, thank you for the gift. I'm excited.
When is the event? You didn't tell
27th of April. So 27th of April, if you're in Florida or you're not in Florida and you want to be in Florida, just don't move to Florida. I mean, we'll get more into that. That's come, story stay in Florida for a couple of days and then go back to where you came from. And
New Yorkers,
but you got to tell us the address.
So 609 West Waters. It's in Tampa. 609 West
time?
Waters in Tampa, Florida. It's at 7:00. It's on a Saturday. Listen, just pretend that you're going to, I don't know, a DY concert, okay, and just get there, okay. I think we'd be like,
he just spilled the beans.
You know how many people have come to be like, I work on Saturdays, man. Come on.
Just take the day off.
If I tell you I'm gonna give away a free pair of ones like the ones I got behind me,
did you just say DY is gonna be there?
No,
the last minute
on the screen.
609 West Waters.
We'll play
7:00.
We'll play DY's video at the intro.
Oh, there you go.
His new video that he dropped last week.
Oh, did he drop a new video?
He dropped a new song, bro.
A Christian song.
Yeah, he dropped a Christian song in a video.
I'm not up to date with that.
You're not up to date, no, bro. All right, so to kind of break down, we're gonna continue on with today's stories. We're gonna talk about the Baltimore boat, the thing that happened. We're gonna talk about some things about Biden. Trump has a Bible, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Florida. I think you just kind of talked a little bit about that, and then
yes, I did.
We'll talk a little bit at the end about this whole P. Diddy situation.
Oh man,
I'm not up to date on that, so I'll be honest. So hopefully you guys can bring me up to date on that. But how about we just start, Berto? You bring your news about Biden, this whole Biden situation going on.
I'm gonna keep it brief.
Easy there.
I don't want it to be so political, but
it's all right to get political.
It was the whole.
People like politics nowadays, a little bit.
It was a big deal for, believers like us, right? They did the whole transgender day. It happens to be on Easter Day. And to me, to each its own. But you know how people don't like it when you push religion on them?
Yeah.
Well, let's not push these agendas on anybody. You
on
know what I mean?
Country.
Yeah, I mean, this is a free country, right? You're free to do whatever you want. But like people have been saying, just, let's keep religion. Let's keep everything else separate. Yeah. You have the freedom in the world to believe what you want to believe in, do what you want to do, but it doesn't mean you have to push it on other people.
Yeah.
So, I don't have a problem with anybody. Obviously, at the end of the day, God's God, we believe in God, and God's the one that's going to judge us at the end of the day. Amen. We just have to love that person. We might not believe or support what they do, but we can't hate somebody because, that's not what the Bible teaches us. That's not what God wants us to be. But it's something that was signed, I believe, in like 2008, and nobody made a big deal of it back in the day. It is true.
So he just brought it to nationalize it, or what exactly happened?
Well, this is just my opinion. It's a political move, right? His numbers aren't what they want it to be. Everybody is kind of scared.
They're not anywhere where they want them to be.
Yeah, and let's just be honest. Everybody's kind of scared. There's like a high chance that Trump can win, right?
Yeah.
So they're doing everything possible to make Trump look like the bad guy, throwing all these lawsuits at him. You know, you have to pay all these money for like some stupid stuff. And so this is just a political move for Biden to get that, LGBTQ vote.
Yeah.
So obviously they do that. And obviously a lot of LGBTQ people don't really like religion or Christianity. They have something against it.
They hate it.
They hate it, exactly.
they hate it.
So what better day to announce that than Easter?
Yeah.
Obviously the day that Jesus rose from the dead, right? So yeah, it's a political move. You know, something that was signed in 2008, a long time ago. Nobody made a big deal of it till 2024, an election year, and it just so happens to fall on Easter. So of course they're gonna blow it up, and of course they're gonna put him in front of it. And he's going to be the hero to those people.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what. I think, and that's a good catch. I didn't know that part, about it being just, put out for 2024. But and to the people who are viewing, we love you guys. Nothing personal. We agree, or we don't necessarily have to agree to love each other. But he's definitely a face. To
absolutely
the political movement. Yeah. He's definitely just a clown, kind of showing his face. And I think that there's no bigger disrespect. I think if you're Christian, if you call yourself to be a believer of Christ, and you should take an offense, at least to the fact that they're disrespecting the one thing that you believe, or when you say, oh, Jesus' name, what really do you believe? When we're talking about the resurrection power, we're talking about he did so much things, and he broke so much chains, and he did all this, but we're taking it as like okay, it's whatever. And I think it's the agenda what it gets to is a couple of people, the Obamas, or the other lady that's supposed to be the vice presidents, they're the actual presidents, right? And then they're kind of putting him up front. But he's
just a puppet.
We're not okay with your movement, or we don't agree with it. But don't push it on my kids. I'd love for my kids to be able to watch a show innocently without me having to jump at some commercial that all of a sudden there's two people of the same sex kissing. So I think that just kind of stay on our own.
So this is kind of, I didn't want to bring this up, but I'm bringing it up anyways. That's like my problem with it. It's the kids, right? Like, obviously, I'm a huge Disney guy. I love Disney.
I can see that.
I'm a huge Disney guy. But it kind of breaks my heart that Disney, they're kind of moving away from this now because all the backlash they received, all the money they lost. Like, I think it was last year, Universal beat them out in everything.
Yeah, they took
their theme parks are getting better. And it got to the point where even though Disney, they purchased Lucasfilms, they purchased, they have Pixar, they have Marvel and all that stuff. But by adding that agenda into something that we all grew up with and love, it has hurt their business, and that should tell you something. Like, absolutely. Hey, go back to what Disney was supposed to. I'm pretty sure Walt Disney's rolling on his grave right now. Seeing what his company
and went back in.
Seeing what his company has become, and
the fact that they're thinking of selling Disney Plus should just right away tell you that they were on the wrong path.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And supposedly Apple might buy them, which I don't think helps the cause because
Apple needs to stay in their lane.
They're
always trying to buy something. They need to fix their glitches.
but that's the thing, is the agenda, and like I said, I don't hate anybody. I just don't like it when it touches the children. Yeah. Because then we're on edge when we want to go watch a Disney movie or some kid show on Netflix.
Like when you're gonna go nowadays I gotta look at the online reviews.
Yeah.
There's like this website that you can go on and kind of see. Is this okay for like my kids? I like what Samuel Rodriguez, pastor that good friend of our family, awesome. He says we're not on the Democrat agenda, we're not on the Republican agenda, we're on the Lamb agenda. Like that's who, as the body of Christ, we want to be on. And so it's not that we're one-sided or two-sided or anything, right? We're not trying to sit here and throw away a whole kind of people. That's not who we are. We're loving but we also, like you said, we're looking out for the better good of our kids, and for our lives. And we want to be kind of left alone in a way where we can live our life and everybody else can live their life, but don't try and come on what should be sacred, right? Our TV for our kids, like what used to be TVY.
Just family in general.
Yes.
Family product, just family.
Now it's like PG is R, PG-13 is mature, and mature, you can't even go watch anything like that.
It's like a full-blown adult movie, to be honest. It's disturbing. And I think that we got to remember what it trickles down to. It's we may instill, or we should be instilling, the principles and the values in our kids as Christians, but just as normal human beings. Just as what we see normal, right? But it doesn't affect only them. It affects a generation to come and a generation after that. So it just creates a sense of normalcy. Like, oh, well, no, now this is the new family. This is like what it's supposed to look like now. And I think that definitely needs to get dialed down.
Chart by chart, if you look at generations and you look at the numbers of people that call themselves part of the community, just not to get this video banned by YouTube, our first video. The numbers per generation, just keep increasing. That should tell you something. It's not, and I do apologize. Again, we're going to get this video banned. I don't believe it's in the I was born this way. I think it's they're just trying to push.
Oh my God!
They're just trying to push this on so many people
that it's definitely gonna get banned.
Your
that
kid,
part is getting muted.
Well, we'll get banned from YouTube already.
That right there, that's the point, though. Yeah. That's the point that we have freedom of speech,
quote unquote.
Yeah.
But we don't have freedom.
Depending on your platform or where you live.
If I were to go on here and I would to go against the Christian values, I would be all over YouTube.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You'd be number one on trending.
But man, that's
trending. Well, talking about this subject, agenda and stuff. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but was it Stephen Furtick's church that got criticized because they wanted to start taking out
yes.
What was it? There was 3 words that they didn't want. Resurrection, was it?
Blood of Jesus.
Blood of Jesus.
And
something else to be politically correct so they don't lose out, I guess, on their popularity. Just my opinion.
That's the heartbreaking part. I remember being, and not to kind of give the long tail, but I remember being, it was like 2000 and maybe 17. I started listening to Furtick. And his messages would just do something to me. They would transform me. I mean, there was an effect. There was an impact. And
I liked, especially during the pandemic. He was my favorite guy to listen to.
The apostasy nowadays is just like, you could keep it to yourself. You don't have to. If you don't love Christ anymore, just leave us alone. You know what I'm saying? But I hope it changes.
Yeah, I think with the Furtick thing, I think it has more to do because I'm not 100% on the news. I did see that they had somebody from their church talk about it. I think it's their marketing director. Sometimes when you get to such a size,
fired.
You have like 500 plus employees at a church. I don't want to say it represents him. Maybe he didn't even know this is what's going on.
True.
But I think we got to do a little better now.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like with this, such a time when we're seeing what the government is doing and calling Easter Sunday now something else, we as a church got to rise up and basically, ensure that we're sharing the gospel about what it is, which is the death and resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ. I mean, look at what happened to Candace Owens.
Yeah.
Supposedly what they're saying is she got...
Put me on. Give me the tea.
So she went on for a little while saying Christ is king. She had a little something. Everybody knows what's going on. They're up to date. What happened between her and Ben Shapiro and the whole Daily Wire situation. But essentially, she said Christ is king in a I think it was Twitter X, whatever it is today called.
Yeah.
And Ben Shapiro and her had a falling out, and supposedly some of the people inside of the network have been saying that some of this has to do with her stance on Christianity, because she said it, she only abides by one thing, and is God, and she's stated Christ as king.
And he's Jewish.
And he's Jewish, and from the get-go, I got to give it to them. They hire her knowing she was, so it's not like they didn't know she was. But just nowadays, you got to even watch. You can't even say Christ is king, so it's kind of crazy we've gotten to that point.
You got to know the mission though of where you're going, and that is like the big problem of why most disagreements happen. I'm okay with you, preaching Christ is king everywhere, because that's what I do. But it's like if you tell me, hey, come on this podcast, but you're not allowed to speak about a certain subject, or how they flow. I think you gotta it's like a preterm thing, like know the terms before you get into something. But
well, since we're talking about this topic, what do you guys think about what supposedly Trump was doing with the Bibles?
Oh yeah,
bring me up to date with that. I'm not up to date with that news.
I don't know that much either. I just know that.
So he's selling Bibles?
Supposedly he's selling Bibles for $89 to help pay for his legal fees. And since he has so many supporters, that's what I read.
Is that it?
I don't know if that's accurate. They
just like the shoes that he just had.
Yeah.
Hey Donald. Yeah.
Like, see, I don't know what's real and what's not real, because they've made it so they just made it impossible. They're trying to make it impossible to like him. So they're doing everything possible to make him look like a loser. The shoes, the Bible.
But what does the Bible entitle? Like, is it like a Donald Trump study Bible, or is it just like a?
I honestly, I don't really know. What I saw, it was literally just a regular Holy Bible, and it's like to support Donald Trump to pay his legal fees. And I don't know if that's true.
Man, I mean, what's the difference? What's the difference of somebody else, selling a study Bible with their name on it? Like we have, different preachers and stuff like that they make their own commentary Bibles and stuff like that. Now, I'm not sure what it all entitles. Is it something that has his name on it, or?
I don't know.
Well, on AP News, he's selling the Bible, and it states here for a total of $59.99.
Oh, $59.
That makes me feel better. That gives me peace.
Quoted as "God bless the USA" Bibles for $59.99, and this is at AP News, New York. It says that former President Donald Trump is now selling Bibles as he turns to return to the White House. Trump, who became the presumptive Republican nominee earlier this month, released a video on his Truth Social platform, which Truth Social is going up with everything going on. That's another topic.
That's probably where we're going to have to put the video.
But he's saying that on Tuesday, urging all of his supporters to buy the "God Bless the USA" Bible, which is inspired by country singer Lee Greenwood's patriotic ballad. And Trump takes the stage at the song of. He takes stage at each one of his rallies with this song. So, on one side you got one president turning Easter into something else, and then you got a president here saying, "Happy Holy Week, let's make America pray again."
Hey, that's my man. Sorry, y'all.
Say what you can about the man. I know a lot of people hate him. A lot of people like him.
I like the orange guy.
He's either you like him or you hate him. There's like two sides of the coin. It's not like 20 years ago where you were kind of indifferent about presidents. But the man has learned to captivate an entire conservative audience.
Yeah.
I think we need to stop.
He's filling a void.
People.
He's filling a void.
Yeah.
You got to give it to him. He's filling a void, which the other side kind of has just thrown out the window.
Yeah. And listen, I wouldn't be able to do it. Like, you have to make people, like, nowadays, your truth goes as far as how much people like you.
Yeah.
And I think that's crazy. Like, I don't like Alberto. Well, what he's saying is the truth. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that this generation of offense is what I call it.
It's a popularity contest.
Yeah, it's like a popularity contest. And I think that, whether or not you like the orange man because he's extremely outspoken, I like him personally. Can he not say some things? Yeah, sure.
Absolutely,
But he's pushing the people to believe what I believe in. And so I think that should be just okay, because it could be the opposite end,
The candidates aren't the best, but I always tend to vote on my beliefs.
Vote orange.
Yeah, so
this guy. I don't think we we're here to tell you who to vote for. I think we're just here to tell you to open up your mind a little bit.
Absolutely.
If you are too much to one side, it means you're not listening to voices from the other side.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Make your own opinion. Form
Educate
your own
yourself.
opinion. Yeah.
Yes.
Educate yourself. Know the truth.
We're not a political or news, channel here trying to tell you one side or the other. You got enough channels to do that for. I think we're just here as regular people like you watching at home. We're regular people just like you trying to...
Or like Brian.
Brian's actually an outspoken Republican. So.
He has a Puerto Rican hat on, by the way. You guys can't see it, but...
Yeah. Yeah. But, just make your own form opinions. Yeah. And
for sure.
It's just a matter of having your own opinion, educate yourself, and kind of balance things out. You for this, but it's not a popularity contest.
Here's the thing. I don't think a lot of people know that. A lot of the things that affect you the most, you go vote for in your local ballots for your local state and your local community that have nothing to do with the president.
You're going to say it. Oh, yeah.
Say what?
Keep going.
That's a transition to what he wants to talk about.
We could lead into that. But, I mean, a lot of the things that affect you and affect your daily life, you go to and vote for that have nothing to do with other states. Mm-hmm. Like whether when medical marijuana was a thing, that was something that had nothing to do with who was the president.
Yeah.
That was in your state.
Right.
That's who your governor is. And here, we live in Florida. So a lot of the things that we're for, I'm kind of glad that we have our current governor in place because he's for a lot of things, like the whole banning of the whole thing with the books that happened a while back, and they tried painting it as something else. So a lot of those things, have to do more locally than even your president.
Absolutely.
So do your research, search your own. And now that we talk about Florida, what is this thing you kind of want to say about Florida?
Please tell me.
Moving to Florida.
I've only been here for 10 months.
Listen, y'all, I got a problem. All right,
is he part of the problem? Because he just moved here.
It's getting hot in here.
He's been here for close to a year.
So get out of Florida. All right, listen.
But if we count the times I've been here here for like 3 years.
No, you've been here for longer than that.
It's different. No. So you know what? I think
bring us the news, man.
I remember when Florida used to be like the place you wanted to go to retire to.
Right.
Right. Like it was like full of like elderly people. I was reading this article from WTVJ. Right.
Yeah.
Listen, since 2020, inflation just in Florida has gone up 20%.
Just in Florida.
Just in Florida.
Is that accounting
the New Yorkers coming over here?
Is that accounting the 8 to 10% national average, or that's
it
on
just
top
says
of?
just in Florida? So
Okay.
I'm assuming that it was it's
combined.
Assuming it's just Florida. Listen, I would love to go to Aldi's and keep buying my pack of turkey for like $2.19 and not see it at $5 one day. And I think that, and I'm not telling y'all not to come to Florida and visit, but look at this. Like, Florida's inflation rates are skyrocketing, and the state now leads the nation of rising costs in housing. Like, there is no reason why a 2-bedroom apartment should be almost $3,000 in the state of Florida. Like,
that is
the
insane.
average salary here.
You go to Miami, that's not enough.
That's not enough.
That
you
is
know what I'm
not
saying?
enough.
Like, and that's just Tampa, right? But like, imagine Miami.
That's just Tampa?
That's just Tampa. Like, just imagine Miami, like living in those places. Like, the average person here makes, I'm not going by, I'm just going by what I hear, right? Yeah. Maybe $20 an hour at an average.
Yeah.
After taxes and everything, if you got kids, you're barely living.
Yeah. I think nowadays, like, you used to like dream of making $50,000 a year.
That's nothing.
$50,000 a year.
That's nothing. No.
When I was in high school, man, that's all I dreamt of. Oh man, when I graduate, if I make $50,000 a year, I could buy a house.
I'm killing it.
And have a car and even have a wife who makes close to that and have kids. Nowadays, bro, it's almost impossible.
It is hard. I'm not gonna lie. So.
And welcome to Florida.
Thanks. So. It was
new homeowner, by the way.
There you go.
So this news affects him.
It affects me. So it was a big shock when I moved here because we came from Georgia, right? So Georgia, over there, our house, I was paying $1,250 for a 4-bedroom house, about 1,900 square feet. Right?
In a good neighborhood.
In a good part of town.
Yeah.
And like the good parts. The good parts, right? And then I come over here and it's a little more, but it hurt. A
little more?
It's a lot more.
Did you just see the way he tensed up when he said that?
Twice as much.
His voice went into a little more. This was a falsetto.
It's a little more.
Be honest with the people, man. It's twice as much over here.
And I'm not gonna lie, it sucks, but the positive I see is obviously, family plays a big part. You got family over here, and also I guess the way of life over here is super different from what we were at.
It's peaceful.
We like it over here. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's hard. It was a big change. I mean, we just bought a house, and for the price of the house we just bought, it was $391. In Georgia, I would have had a huge house.
Yeah, for that price, yeah.
But
I think Texas is the same way.
Texas is the same way, yeah. But it's just obviously the prices look nice, but it's just the factors. Like, you got family, you see your wife and your daughter super happy to be here. So that yeah, it's a lot of money, and then you got to work hard and stuff. But seeing them happy and super different, I can see it in their face. It kind of changes everything.
And just to straighten out that fact too, like when people that live in Florida say don't move to Florida, it's not like don't come. It's like before you do, it's almost like Steven was saying, like really like educate yourself, because like Florida is right up there with California. Florida is like right up there with New York. Like we are no longer the place you go to find cheap housing.
Yeah.
And I think that where some of us are still in that like maybe like pre-COVID phase where rent or mortgage. I mean, I remember I was paying $1,400 a mortgage. I was loving life. Yeah. COVID hit, and it was like a bomb, and everything changed.
Yeah. I mean, the thing here is I notice it when I get on I-4 and I go to Orlando. I used to take me an hour and a half. Now it takes me almost 3 hours to go to Disney. So I'm not going to disclose where we are, where we live, but just kind of take it into your mind. It takes much longer for me to go from one side of town to go to the other side of town where we are here. Yeah. Where I've been here since 2006, and it used to take me not even 4 minutes to go from one side of town to go to the other side. Now it can literally take me 25, 30 minutes to be in the same zip code, or same town. So I feel it when I'm out in the street. I feel it in my pocket, definitely for sure. I think the plus of Florida, again, I mentioned it earlier, is who we have as a governor. I think a lot of the people coming here are turning to what the state is about. Oh, yeah. The state used to be a swing state. Mm-hmm. It is no longer. No income tax is a big part of it. You come from New York, where you got to pay, I don't know how much the income tax over there is right now, your state income.
I have no
state
idea.
Tax. Yeah, we don't have state
California,
tax.
where it's astronomical. Ridiculous. You got like 3 state taxes you got to pay.
And speaking, I'll tell you this. I mean, how long is it going to last? I guess this is like a question. How do you think?
How long is what going to last?
Like recently, I love my boy Ron. Ron is a great guy. We go golfing every day. It's a joke.
Yeah, he got me into those boots to make me look taller.
Those boots, those alligator boots.
Those boots, baby.
But his perspective on things have been a little bit different, you know. And I think that the political party has felt like a little shake between him and the Trumps. And this last year, I don't know if you guys remember that little bit of turmoil that was happening. So I'm just like,
hey, but he endorsed them though.
He did. Barely, but he did.
he endorsed them.
I mean, again, wherever it leads to, I think people coming here are coming here because of how, as a state, everybody's voting.
Of course.
And everybody coming here we thought was going to vote the other way. And we were all like, oh, is this going to turn into a New York or a California? Or
I'm going to throw a bomb in there.
What?
If you guys were to ever move, this is not physical, please. I'm not a terrorist, yo. If you were to move to any other state, what state would it be?
Oh, Texas.
Probably Texas.
Without
my exes live in Texas. Yeah, I would move there too. I saw this house. It was nice, but
probably Texas.
I'm there or one of these like northern states where they have like
North Carolina,
land everywhere and housing. Like Utah I
would probably go to South Carolina.
I've been there once.
South or North Carolina.
I went recently, and it was very nice, very peaceful. So if it wasn't here, if it wasn't Texas, it'd probably be over there, South Carolina.
I think there's still some states that align with a lot of good values. So I think any one of those states,
they're not completely flooded. Yeah, it's not completely flooded. There's
in Texas too. Texas has gotten crowded.
Everybody. I mean, all these the big business guys have taken their business to Texas because of everything that's
no
going
income
on.
tax either.
Yeah,
there's no state income tax in Texas. I was just in Dallas a few weeks ago, or like 2 weeks ago, and talking to the Mike. Shout out to Mike, who I was there with. He was talking about like
Mike.
Just the influx of people as well. So they're feeling it in the inner city like we are over here as well. So I think even somebody from Texas came on the podcast, they would say the same thing. How if they've been living there for 20 years, how all of a sudden houses that were 100,000 are now 200,000. Still a good price, but to them, they're feeling it because they're used to like we were used to over here.
And I don't think it's gonna stop. I think people are gonna start opening their eyes and start. So like kind of totally off subject, not really off subject, but have you guys seen the preview to that new movie that's coming out? It's called like Civil War.
No.
I mean, I saw the poster. I did see that.
So go watch the trailer. It comes out this month, I think, and it's like predicting the future. Now Is
it like that one movie on Netflix that was produced by the Obamas?
No.
Everybody was saying how the whole.
So it has like the United States has been completely divided, and each state it's its own like country.
What?
So yeah, it's crazy. You got to watch the trailer.
That is insane.
Yeah, a lot of these movies.
So it's like the United States of Texas and Florida. They're one state or whatever, and like California and all. It's crazy.
Listen, Florida would be like Russia with the artillery.
Yes.
Okay, we're heavy over here.
You got to watch the trailer. I'm interested. I'm interested to see the movie and so I know obviously my background is in cinema. And this is not a rumor. This is like straight up truth. The government, you guys know the government controls everything, but the government also in the White House, they have a movie department, and they're the ones who control. They're the ones who control what movies. They don't control every movie studio. No, so don't but they control what movies get approved and come out, and what like. The plot lines and stuff like that. So when you see movies like that, it's like.
Did you know they had their hands on Iron Man?
Really?
I saw the list. There's this list.
There is a list. There is a list of the movies that they heavily produced.
So like they have to approve everything that comes out.
It's like, hey, put this in this, put this in that. So for example, a lot of historical movies, they have their hands on it because they want it to align with what they want you to believe. Obviously, history is a big touchy subject.
I think you just got to watch The Simpsons.
You just got to watch The Simpsons.
You watch The Simpsons.
I even saw that supposedly The Simpsons predicted the Baltimore thing.
I thought they predicted COVID. I think, right?
They predicted COVID. They
predicted Trump.
They predicted Trump. They predicted all these other things. 9/11. They predicted the death of somebody. I can't remember who it was.
A lot of people.
And supposedly there's an episode, or I saw a meme, so probably Bobby made it up or whatever, but supposedly there's an episode where they predict a bridge collapsing. It didn't say it was the Baltimore Bridge, but it was an episode where a cargo ship loses power, hits the bridge, and it collapses.
Man, and let me tell you something real quick, just kind of like a side note. Shout out to those people that got affected by that, man.
Yeah.
It was really heartbreaking. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I did not know about it until today. We were on the way to the beach with my family, and we were on St. Pete Bridge, and I hate bridges.
Yeah,
I like bridges. I am scared of bridges. And Jackson's like, well, this and this happened in Baltimore. I'm like, what? So I didn't know about it, and it really got to me. I was really sad, and I pray that everybody's doing good and okay out there. It's a pretty impactful situation. So.
To me, it's wild that something like that in today's time with the amount of technology we have. I mean, there's literally an app you can download on your phone and see all the planes in the sky and where they're going. Something like this happening, all the things with Boeing, all the planes.
It's crazy.
The thing with the trains last year, train derailments that were happening, all these news about transportation accidents that just keep happening it's wild. Brian says if they're accidents.
Were they though? Bomb, bomb, bomb.
I mean, there's a lot of conspiracies out there in regards.
Just gotta ask the CIA.
Yeah, I mean,
let me call my friend John.
It's just quite a lot.
Yeah,
and the fact that something like this has to happen, and now they're gonna probably make new rules and changes to better it. I don't know. It's kind of
at the expense of what, though. Innocent people's lives that have, nothing to do with it. But
not to get all political, but what's happening now.
That's all we've been doing over the
I know,
last 30
right?
minutes.
The whole podcast. Like,
What's happening now? It's scary. So imagine like around July, August. Imagine, just think about it. The things, because it's getting close to voting season, right?
Yeah.
So imagine the things that are going to happen around August, September, October.
I do have to be honest. Like, I haven't felt it, and I'm not asking for it, please. I haven't felt the tension like last election season.
The calm before the storm, baby. Calm before the storm.
I think we're just kind of far away from it.
Think so?
But the tension is there. If you go looking online to all the rallies, all the things going on,
I would
especially
prefer not to boost my anxiety.
universities.
Stay off social media.
I mean, I follow this guy.
Mostly universities. You can see the tension in universities. Too many. It's just like the millennials and then this new generation is such a big contrast.
That's such a good conversation to have.
It's crazy. That's a conversation for another time. But it's a huge contrast, especially in universities.
But hey, like we said earlier, kind of got to do your research, find out where you want to live. If according to this guy over here, he says don't come to Florida, so go to Texas.
We are closed for business, ladies and gentlemen.
Texas is looking for a few good men and women. I heard North Dakota is pretty chill and calm and cheap.
I heard Alaska is actually giving out free money to anybody that moves up there.
What?
Actually, believe it.
I'm just kidding, bro.
Believe it or not, where I used to live, Columbus, Georgia, I don't know if this is true, but they're paying people $17,000 to move there.
I'm on the first flight next week.
I mean, when you're in a decline of people, this
Yeah.
is kind of the stuff you got to do to get people out there. So,
For sure.
But hey, man, that just sort of what happens. Can somebody bring me up to speed? What's going on with P. Diddy?
Yeah, what is going on with P. Diddy?
What's going on there?
I think this is the part where I get up and leave. Not kidding. So, I mean, have you guys heard about it?
I was told you were the guy to talk to.
Yeah,
this.
but have you guys? So I'm not trying to like go into it, because here's a problem with this whole P. Diddy situation. I really wanted to address it because, in essence, right, we're I think all of us here are all advocates for youth, right?
Yeah.
And so they go on social media, and this is the first thing that they see.
Yeah.
Somebody that's full of fame, has controlled a lot of the music industry for many, many years, and now something comes out to where he's like touching and doing things inappropriately, to innocent people, quote unquote, right? So, I where does it come to an end, right? I think like where does it come to an end to where social media stops giving it so much, that emphasis, and why does the Baltimore Bridge happen right when P. Diddy is like the only thing social media is talking about? Like, do we have to always find a distraction, or can we call something out by what it actually is at some point? Like the music industry is just dirty. I mean, I can say it. Steven can say he's in the industry. I think all of us here.
The entertainment industry itself is just dirty.
It's just dirty. Amanda Bynes is another example.
I mean, the whole show with that they just put out. What's it called on?
Quiet on Set. I watched it.
Drake and Josh.
Yeah.
From back in the day, the show.
Huh? Did they put a show out?
Yeah, it's called Quiet on the Set.
Yeah.
It's the Nickelodeon. It's like the dark side, the truth.
You remember the Drake and Josh show?
Yeah,
from back in the day?
Yeah.
Well, Drake,
the skinny one,
comes out and talks about his experiences and everything that happened to him. Well, the guy, what was his name, Brian? Dan Schneider, the producer and writer for that show.
That's the guy with the foot fetish.
Yes. So when you watch the trailer, it makes you seem like Dan Schneider was the one molesting these kids. It's not him. He did, I'm not defending him or anything, he did create a toxic work environment, and he did put a lot of stress on these kids, which is why they're messed up now. All his favorites, Amanda Bynes, Drake, Ariana Grande, he would add these like sexual things. It's crazy because my daughter will watch some of these shows on Netflix. She's 9, and when I'm watching it, I used to watch this when I was little. When I watch it, I go, "Whoa, is that what I think?" They're referring, they do stuff or whatever. So Dan Schneider created this toxic work environment. He kind of sexualized some things, but he himself never touched these kids or whatever. They had 3 people on that set. One was like a production assistant, one was the acting coach, and he's the main one they focus on, and another guy that they just briefly mentioned that sexually harassed somebody, but they didn't really bring much light to it. But the acting coach, he sexually molested Drake, and before they started the Drake and Josh show. When this all happened, so he started out on the Amanda show, and then Dan Schneider told him, "Hey, you and
he went to court for this."
He went to court, but they kept it a low profile. Nobody knew it was him.
Oh my god!
So when he was getting his big break, his own TV show, he was going through this. But I don't, you should go watch it. It's really well done. It's really well done, and it's a crazy story.
I've been hearing the news about it. I've been reading about it. But I haven't gotten the chance to watch it.
Yeah, you got to watch it.
Now that you're mentioning, intrigues me to watch it.
I saw it on Max. But it might be on Amazon also. Because it's not a Max exclusive. It was it might be on Amazon.
But I guess my question is, right, all these things, which I didn't know that, you know, about the whole quiet set, right? So not to get all personal, whatever, but I guess I'm thinking, as a parent, I know when I was a kid, certain things happened to me. Mm-hmm. And now I'm an adult. So now I think hey, what were you doing when I was in this place and somebody was doing something to me? And, that's something that I've talked to my mom. So, this is not a surprise to her. And, but what happens to our kids? When does it stop?
Well, I think they touched some of it. I read that his dad and his mom.
It's crazy that you bring it up. So his dad was his manager. His dad was with him on set the whole time. And his dad was already suspicious of the guy because he was always calling him. He's always touching him too much. And he's like, hey, I don't want you around that guy. His dad was with him 24/7. What happened was that guy, the one who molested him, he kind of got to Drake. And his parents were divorced. And he kind of manipulated the mom to kind of tell Drake that the dad's not good for him. Mm. And they accomplished their goal. So he told his dad, "Hey, I don't want you managing me anymore. Leave, I don't want you in this."
That's horrible, man.
So as soon as he kicked his dad out of his life, that's when he got molested. So his dad was protecting him this whole time.
Man, that answers your question of, again, a dad and a mom being so present. We're all dads here, all three of us. And I watch every single move that my kids do every single day. I know where they're at. I know that they're with their mom. I know if they're with their grandma, with their aunt. Nowadays, you just have to know where your kids are at all times. Even in when they're around me, I still call on them. And I don't like to not know where my kids are at.
I'm gonna say something that might cause the internet to go crazy. Is that okay to say that?
Yeah, go for it, bro.
This podcast, but
I don't control what you say. Nobody controls.
I know,
what you
right?
Say.
I think especially family. I think we put too much trust. It's the ones that are closer, right? I think, it's this story that this lady was sleeping with a serpent, and she would go to the doctor and be like, "Hey, it's not eating," and he was like, "It's not that it's not eating. It's just it's waiting to grow an appetite big enough to eat you up." You know what I'm saying? It's sizing you up, and I think that the reason why I wanted to bring P. Diddy to light, the reason why I wanted to bring these people to light, it's not to give more fan or give them a bigger fan base or grow the story or grow views or anything like that. But if you're a kid that's out there and you're watching this podcast, if you're a person in general and this is happening to you, please do not be afraid to speak up.
Yeah.
I think enough is enough. And I think, this is marking generations. And, about P. Diddy, he's he went to Cape Verde. I think that he's gone for the most part.
Oh
but, yeah. I think if you're still in time, and something happens to you, speak up about it.
Yeah.
Don't ever feel guilty.
But when you're hiding, you're done.
Something.
So I might say something that might upset people, but my problem is when these people choose to come out. I think they choose to come out when they're already famous. You know what I mean?
That's a good one.
So the thing that happened with what's the producer that sexually harassed all these girls?
You're talking about Kevin Spacey?
No. Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, okay.
So Harvey Weinstein, girls did sexual favors for him, and he made them famous. And then now that they're rich and famous and they have everything that they want, now is when they speak out. It's why didn't you speak out before?
I think it's shame.
But
shame.
yeah.
Yeah, it's shame.
But if something happens to you, you should speak out immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To stop these weirdos and it's like pedophilia trying to make it normal.
Yeah.
Like
I think it's not, not feeling ashamed.
Yeah. I think not to downplay. I mean, sometimes I think it does have to do with the situation you're in. I think sometimes a lot of these people feel like if they do speak out, their lives can be in danger.
Right.
We don't know really what's being said by some of these men in power. Unfortunately, for a long time, and the stories that have come out is, these men kind of make it seem to them like you say something, you're done.
Exactly.
We don't know what the conversations are. Obviously, we don't have the full story. But like you said, you should speak out as soon as something happened. Don't wait 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Like the whole story with Kevin Spacey, the situations and things that he did. Yeah. There's a lot of people in Hollywood, and we could stay here all day. P. Diddy, some of the stories that we've been hearing on the news have been not from recently. It's been from a while back.
Like they even mentioned Usher, who's a 40-year-old man now.
Yeah. I think people just find the courage behind others and also speak out. So
it's like an altar call.
Yeah, bro.
It's like an altar call. Yeah.
It's like there's so many sides to the coin. You gotta just as dad, I think what we're seeing all this we could take is you got to just watch over your kids.
Absolutely.
Be on the lookout, take care of them. Watch where they go. Watch what they watch. Watch what they, even watch what they eat. You got to just
and
take
even
care
then,
of your kids.
listen, like before we got here, I know that we're about to end now, but we went to the beach earlier today, and there was this moment of if I've ever felt desperate, it was this moment, and I really need you guys to like hear the importance. So I mean, we're in the beach and we're all just hanging out. We took the day off. And my wife's, she takes her phone out and she's like, hey, let's take a selfie. So I'm like, hey, I got like 5,000 kids. So I'm all trying to get them in order, by ABCs. And so I'm like.
People really going to think you have 5,000.
No, I got 4 kids, guys. I'm happily married. It's a joke. But I got this one.
With the same woman.
With the same woman, yes. Happily married. Hallelujah. So she's like, hey, let's take a selfie. So when I'm looking at the camera, I don't see my son. And he was just there.
Oh, man.
And it took us 2 minutes to find him. And find out that he was chasing seagulls.
like a mile on the beach?
He was chasing seagulls. Not even maybe like right around the corner. But we were calling him and he wasn't answering. But this desperate moment that I had without not being able to find my son. And
was it your oldest son or your youngest?
It was my youngest son.
Your youngest.
So he's only 3.
Mm.
So the things, if you live here, where we live at, that this is one of the like highest rates for sex trafficking. So like your mind is already on alert. And it was just a moment where like, wow, just imagine everything just started going through the head instantly. So I think it just shows us how much more. And we can be sometimes also to bring the other end of the conversation to kind of nip it in the bud. I asked earlier, where are these parents? But it's like, what if you're right there? And then life just seems to happen, But I just wanted to share that with you. Man, it was a shaking moment.
Those 2 minutes felt like 2 hours, huh?
I was desperate, man. Oh, man.
I haven't lost any of my kids yet.
And I'm a responsible parent, by the way.
Yeah, you are, bro. I just can't imagine the feeling of losing one of them. Like I remember being lost as a kid at the mall. And like the feeling on the other side is horrible, right?
Oh,
but as a kid, you sort of don't have this whole rundown as an adult that you have of what if they're stolen, like what could happen, all these, things that we go through in life. Mm-hmm. As a kid, you don't have that. As a kid, you're just more worried where your mom is. You're crying for mom.
Yeah.
But in your mind, you're not thinking somebody's going to steal me at any moment or nothing like that. But as a dad, you have that plus the 50,000 thing that can run through your mind. It's like, what if I don't find them?
You're supposed to be like the protector.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be the
man.
The
Superman.
man. If somebody comes, which I just pray nobody bigger than me ever steps up to me in front of my kids. I just be like, dude, we're good, man. We just be friends.
just tone it down a little bit,
We dying trying. That's for sure. So, hey man, this was awesome. So we gotta keep doing more of this. We're gonna keep doing more of this.
Yes, sir.
Having more conversations, having some life talks.
For sure.
So, yeah, where can they follow you guys?
You go first.
Me first?
Yes.
All right, so you're going to kill me. I never know my Instagram thing.
All right, I'll go first.
Yeah, just go first.
So you can go to Instagram.
Somebody over here finds...
I'll go second.
Just give the dinosaur there a minute to work his phone. This is GaVriel, and GaVriel with a V. Do not judge me the way I spell my name, okay? So you can find me there, and Facebook and Instagram and all those other places. TikTok as well. I just recently started using TikTok. I actually
and
like
on Spotify, bro.
And Spotify, let me tell you something.
Apple Music, Deezer.
There you go.
Claro Musica,
Wherever you like. Dinosaur?
Well, you can on Instagram, Alberto _Fig88.
All right. That's it. I'm gonna stop you. Let's put a petition for him to change that name.
I can't look. I wanted to hold on. Timeout.
You might as well put the dinosaur
because it's hard. It's hard for me to find him to tag him sometimes. I'm like, is it Berto, Alberto?
Those underscore name. Those usernames with underscores.
Fig tree.
Are usually bots.
Listen. I wanted to just have Alberto Fig88, but it's crazy. Somebody has that. That's why I had to put the underscore.
Somebody has Alberto Fig88.
Yes.
If that is you, listen.
Somebody has it. That's why I couldn't have it.
Hit him up. Send him a DM. Just $5, $10 through Cash App.
I've tried
Give
that
him
before.
The name.
It don't work.
How much is that name worth? $10? $5?
That name is worth $10,000.
Alberto Fig88 is worth $10,000.
What about A Figueroa?
Was Alberto Figueroa 88 not available?
Listen, don't put pressure on me. It is what it is.
All right, petition. I guess put on.
Where can
hold.
we find you?
You can find me, Steven Rivera Diaz. Pretty simple, all socials, and you can follow all of us here on SRTV on YouTube. You can hit follow, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Hit like on this.
Share.
We just started, so you're one like. Mom, if you're out there, please hit like on this.
We're
three of our moms.
We're gonna have 3 followers already. We'll have 6 followers already. Our moms and our wives.
You gotta say it in Spanish, "Mami, búscame en YouTube."
¿Qué es eso de YouTube?
But definitely, for sure, hit like on this so we can keep pushing this to all the people like-minded like us. So thank you to Brian. Everybody give it up for Brian. Woo!
Brian.
Amazing job.
Brian vows never to wear the Puerto Rican hat again.
Nah, he'll keep wearing it.
Brian.
We'll see you here for the next episode. Yay!